Think back to 2022. Just a couple of years ago, things felt, well, completely normal, right? Companies were hiring and career paths were pretty predictable. But then, almost overnight, the ground just shifted right beneath us. We've entered what we're calling the Great Displacement. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking exactly what happens when millions of jobs don't just change, but potentially disappear forever. Okay, let's dive right into this timeline, because the sheer speed of this shift is just mind-blowing. November 2022, ChatGPT launches. 2 months later, boom, 100 million users. By year 1, routine legal work is already being replaced. Year 2, we see junior programmers starting to lose their seats. And if we look just 3 years out, projections show 300 million jobs globally are at risk. We're not talking about some slow generational shift here. This is happening at absolute warp speed. Section 1, the post-AI economy. Let's look past the scary headlines for a second and anchor ourselves in some hard, objective data. Look at the sheer magnitude of this number, 300 million. That is Goldman Sachs' meticulous research revealing the amount of full-time jobs globally that could be directly affected by generative AI. So we really aren't just guessing here. The world's most well-funded research institutions are all pointing in this exact same direction. And McKinsey? They actually take it a step further. We're looking at a 57% slice of current US work hours that can be automated right now. And I want to be super clear about this. Not by some science fiction future AI, but by existing technology. The tools available to us literally today can already automate well over half of our work hours. Section 2, why AI is different. Because, you might be wondering, didn't the economy always adjust when things like cars replaced horses? Well, the crucial difference is right here. Every single previous technological revolution automated physical work. They essentially replaced our hands. But the AI revolution? It's automating thinking, judgment, communication, and creativity. For the very first time in human history, technology is actually replacing our brains. And that completely rewrites the economic playbook. Section 3. Who is losing jobs now? Let's move out of economic theory and into reality to see who's feeling the impact right this second. As you can see, routine and clerical roles are facing a near total automation risk. Data entry clerks and telemarketers, we're talking a 99% risk factor. Administrative assistants are right behind them at 96%. And this isn't just some prediction of what's to come. Between 2022 and 2024, customer service employment in the US dropped by 80,000 positions, simply because AI chatbots stepped right in to do the work. But what's truly alarming is who is taking the hardest hit here. It's not the least educated, it's actually the most recently educated. Young people who did everything right, got their degrees, and are now finding that those entry-level jobs, well, they just don't exist anymore. Young 20 to 30-year-old tech workers have seen a 3% rise in unemployment since early 2025. In this really cruel twist of irony, the generation that grew up with the internet is the exact same generation being replaced by it. Section 4, the real economic crisis. Now, before we assume there are just no jobs left at all, let's look at the underlying skills gap. The World Economic Forum data builds a much more complex picture for us. Yes, 92 million routine jobs are being destroyed. But on the flip side, we're seeing 170 million new jobs being created by 2030. So that's a net gain of 78 million jobs. The catch? Well, the skills required for these new roles are radically different. You can't just take an administrative assistant and instantly move them into a role as, say, an AI specialist without some massive retraining. Which leads us to this vital realization. That gap between the jobs lost and the skills needed for new jobs, that is the real economic crisis of the AI age. During this transition period, millions lose their income. They stop spending, businesses lose customers, and then even more people get let go. So while AI will absolutely boost global GDP eventually, that new wealth doesn't instantly reach the people who've been displaced. This transitional gap is where the real human suffering happens. Section 5. What actually survives AI? If the landscape is shifting this dramatically, we really need to explore the safe career paths. Here are your safe zones, and the common thread tying them together is remarkably simple: physical and hands-on work, because AI definitely isn't coming to plumb a house or build a brick wall anytime soon. Human care and education. We still deeply crave empathy from nurses and teachers. Strategic leadership, we demand human accountability at the highest levels. And finally, AI operations. Basically, you must be doing what AI physically or emotionally cannot do, or you have to be the one directing the AI itself.
Section 6, 3 Steps to Survive. Let's wrap this all up with a highly practical guide that you can start applying today.
Here is your playbook. Step 1, audit your own job. Be brutally honest with yourself. Is over 50% of what you do every day automatable? If the answer is yes, you need to act right now. Step 2, move to the human layer. Double down on your emotional intelligence, your physical presence, and complex ethical judgment. A doctor who truly connects with their patients, completely irreplaceable. And step 3, work with AI. Learn the tools, use them as a multiplier. Don't try to compete against the machine. Become the person who makes the machine incredibly useful. The economy after AI isn't some guaranteed disaster, but it is a massive, massive transformation. And the difference between thriving and being left behind really just comes down to how quickly you act on it. So I'll leave you with this. What is the one skill you are building right now to stay ahead of AI? Think about it, and I would absolutely love for you to share your strategies down in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.